All right, good morning, guys. So, a long weekend later, a long weekend, $35,000. A lot of videos gone later. We are here. We're looking to trade live here on December 2nd. Can't believe I'm even saying that. Time is moving by ridiculously fast. Mr. Squeeze, good morning, brother. Um, Looking at the chart here, I mean, this thing is ridiculously, obviously, still in a bullish buy program. All right, so we made an attempt to run down here, right? A lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm picking the top here," and Trader King, he calls himself on Twitter. He caught a good trade, and then obviously he went to social media, and everyone was like, "Wow, oh my God, man, I can't believe you caught the top! Like, I can't believe you caught the top, man." And then like it just, obviously rips to the upside and upsets that, which I mean, it's just another testament of, just don't be the guy that tries to pick the top, especially publicly, right? But regardless, what we're looking at here is price made an attempt to run down here. We trade into the upper quadrant of that daily fair value gap, and we clear previous three daily lows relative to where Wednesday was at in time. We clear out these internal lows right here. We trade down to discount, smack dab in the middle of this consolidation. We immediately respond away from that. We create an intermediate term low. And then Friday, we're not going to talk about Friday. All right, we're not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that beautiful, perfect, picture perfect market maker buy model. Um, Obviously, I decided to take the day off in here, but just relative to how we're in a range, right, and then coming up off a bank holiday and just other factors, I was really set on this thing being range bound, like we saw the previous two Fridays, where we're just banging back around, very low probability, and then we come into here and I mean just a beautiful, beautiful market maker buy model. But I'm not gonna talk about hindsight because it's in the past, and we're moving forward, looking to trade what we have in front of us here. So first and foremost, what I'm going to annotate here is midpoint of this wick here, and Wednesdays, or yeah, just Tuesday's daily high here, and then Fridays as well. So we clear these two daily highs up here. We're up into midpoint of this wick, going into 9:30, which is in about 4 minutes. And then remember on the daily chart, okay, what I was kind of getting at is, I mean, this definitely looks like a buy program. Okay, we're delivering off of this down candle that was formed. That took us down into that sell side liquidity that I mentioned on the hourly chart. So this right here by default is going to be a bullish, classic bullish order block. So it comes down, takes us below all these daily lows here, delivers us wick from this down candle. That's what took us down into all that. And then we shift above it right there in the opening. Boom, change this day delivery. I mean, the only thing that I can do is have my eyes directly on this daily high up here. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. Okay, I would like to see if we can ever run up into here. And I wouldn't particularly prefer price to make a run for all-time highs on NASDAQ. It really could. I would not be surprised we're long up into there and we get covered up there. But where it stands now, I mean, just a really strong signature would be creating that SMT at the all-time highs, with ES obviously engaging it already, which I'm going to get into that now. So looking at it, this down candle spikes down to current new week opening gap. We tap it again, boom, react up off of it. Friday expands, clears all-time high. And now we're just kind of hovering here, not showing any signs of slowing down. Now, what is the tendency on Monday? Well, it really does have a tendency to continue based on what the, you know, Friday kind of was doing, right? So looking at it here, I really would expect price to clear out this wick high right here that's above all-time high for anyone that's trying to pick a top too early, right? So as soon as we come into all-time high, we create this wick. Okay, retail views as doji. A lot of people want to put their stops above here. I would like to see if we can offset that. So you can see that we're dropping down below midnight opening into this hourly imbalance left behind from Friday, creating an intermediate term low, displace. I'd like to see if 9:30 can get us up into here. All right, to here, you're leaving behind these two little lows right here. That's kind of creating a trend line sensation. So a little bit of a mixed bag of what I'm thinking here. I can either drive down here and then yield a rally up, or I can just have a straight shot up into this high up here. And this would be Monday's high from last week, right? So previous weekly high hovering above. All right, so I mean, really two factors that lead into that high being so significant. Number one is previous weekly high, and then number two is just that wick doji type of high. All right, so Looks like it's going to take the route just expanding above there. So in that case, we just look to frame something off of previous weekly high instead of trying to chase to move up into it, right? See how that works? So similar to how we're looking at the back testing models, right? On that one day we quote unquote missed model number 1 through 3, and we just simply let it engage the previous session high, right? And then we found the model up off of that. So anyway, I mean, pretty obvious we're going to attack that high there. So I mean, pretty pinpoint on the nose call out that I just had there up into previous daily high. I don't think that was hard for anyone to see, to be honest, but I mean, as soon as I see a wick doji high off of a significant, long-term high up here, right, I just know that a lot of people are going to try and pick the top early, and that's going to be a very good likely target. So 930 right here, just straight shot up into the level that we firstly mapped out. Obviously, there's nothing I'm going to trade here because, I mean, you have to have a structured model surrounding this rather than this, oh, okay, it's 930 opening, let's buy, right? Because then I'm opening myself up to that 50-50 coin toss of 930 potentially slamming down first to manipulate. All right, Dow. So Dow made a run for all-time high, but didn't quite engage it. So ES and NASDAQ were able to do it, but Dow's kind of sitting this one out. DXY, I mean, very like off an initial glance, okay, this is my first time looking at DXY since Friday. So off initial glance, this looks pretty prominently bullish, and that's really supporting our stance we've had on bullishness for a while now. Yes, we swept previous monthly high, but as you can see here, we come down, bump out this short-term pool of daily sell-side liquidity. This tangent area is that's going to be your weekly for Vega gap, and then as you can see here, we have an inversion extended out. So if I go to the higher time frame for you, okay, this is actually going to be a weekly balanced price range extended through. You see how we trade down into that, rejected immediately, and the weekly candle is expanding now to the upside. And at the hourly chart, you can see right after that sell side's bumped, we traded those key levels that I just annotated, create an intermediate term low, expand aggressively, take out this internal low here, expand again, right? So, I mean, immediately the first thing my eyes are going to jump to is right above this swing high here, and then this hourly imbalance to be drawn up into. So, definitely bullish on dollar index at the moment. I'll come back to it in a little bit. For the NASDAQ, if this thing really gets aggressive here, I'd look for, there's Thursday, daily buy side liquidity high over here. So this daily candle's high right here. Okay, extend that out. I'm not sure if I don't really need us to get up here, but if we do, I'll certainly be able to work with that. But where it stands now, just a huge expansion to the upside. All right, I'm not gonna sit here and guarantee there's gonna be a model number 3 to the downside, given how aggressive we are. But we shall see. We'll sit and wait, and we'll see. All right. Now, as for ES, I mean, as you can probably imagine, no surprises here. It wasn't as aggressive. We immediately reject away from all-time high here. And then we're trading down into this reg gap here. Now, obviously, there's, I mean, several factors as to why I would not be buying in on this. I mean, it'd be ridiculous for me to even consider that, right? We have 10 a.m. news, and then we have discorrelated assets with NASDAQ way up here, and NASDAQ kind of hanging around the middle of the range, right? And then we go to Dow, and Dow is sliding off. So Dow's the leader to the downside. We'll see if the other averages can potentially follow this, because, I mean, this is a ridiculous move to the downside. We actually have a failure swing here at all-time highs. So all the averages are able to get up there above their respective buy-side liquidity pool, but Dow just says, nope, I'm sitting this one out. So we have an SMT divergence placing at the highs now with a huge displacement from Dow. ES is wicking off. NASDAQ is still kind of hanging around up here. We're going to see what it does relative to the high end of this daily inversion, right? So I don't like how we're hesitating at the moment, right? Because all we did was jump down below and finally take out a short-term low with no weak opening gap hovering above. So I can, like, honestly, I can subtly frame a long opportunity to the upside at the moment. So I really need to see that bear sell program confirmed if I'm going to jump on a short, right? And then you look at ES here and it's sloppy, but anyway, I can just subtly frame, like, even though I'm convicted in model number 3 down here, I can subtly frame a sell opportunity off the rejection of this swing low here, and then up a new week opening gap. So I'm not going to be so hard pressed to take an entry so quickly, right? All right. Anyway, so let me get this straight here. Okay, here's these down candles. I want to see a sharp drop down below that. Okay, perfect. ES going in lower. Okay, nice. All right, so actually I'm going to short this because that's all I need. Like I said, I want to see it drop down below the down candle. Stop's going to be above the inversion. So we have 5, 4, 20. So we're going to have a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio here, like I initially said. So So looking to capitalize on model number 3, right? We had an intermittent term high formed here. Now we had displacement. Now we pierce below these up candles, right? Shorting the up candles here, stop above, and then looking for attacking those who've been making money inside of this session. Okay, very, very simple logic. We let the probabilities play out. The risk reward is 1 to 3 risk reward ratio, so it supports making, obviously the losers a lot smaller than the winners, right? So perfect. Everything in play here. Good. Okay, so ES is gunning down for the lows very nicely. Okay. Want to see NASDAQ do the same thing. So I'm just kind of eyeing up ES here. And I kind of changed my mind. It's Monday, so I mean, still a 1 to 2.5 risk reward ratio. I'm just going to take profits right at the very high of this 15-minute Ferrari gap. Okay. So I don't need the absolute low down here. Okay. I just want to get a real smooth ride down here into the low. So 1 to 2.5 risk reward ratio. And I want to see a sharp drop down now. Okay. I want to see ES continue down below as well, of course. Okay. So, okay, ES kind of dives above, so it takes out this short-term high here. And then very small Ferrari gap here. Just kind of steamrolls past that. So, probably getting stopped out here on NASDAQ. Yep, there we go. So, I was really expecting continuation here relative to, I mean, we didn't even take out any of these lows down here in ES. So, price drops down, just kind of matches that, and then, keeps higher, and then leaves this gap open. So, unless we get a real expansion to the upside suggesting bullishness, like this continues, right? The only other trade I can see myself taking today is a long position up into the week opening gap up here. So the narrative here is we just now created an intermittent term low. We displaced through the breaker plus Ferrari gap, which we're expecting to take price down into those who've been buying, right? And now what do we have underway here? Well, we have this swing low taken out. We had this 15-minute Ferrari gap delivered, immediate rejection away from that. So immediately I'm going to be looking here, okay? So I'm looking to buy up into new week opening gap. Very, very simple. So let me extend this forward. If it offers me a short-term retracement, my final trade of the day will be a long up into new week opening gap. All right. Now, it's not a revenge trade, but like, come on now. It's not a revenge trade. But if the model shows its hand with this displacement and retracement, right? Everything is really set in play here. We come down, sweep the first pool of liquidity. We displace the opposing raise. And we have an obvious draw up here with continuous bullishness underway, right? And then ES is really displacing higher here. So, I mean, everything just looks bullish to me at the moment. We take out DXY. So DXY is still consolidating in a range, which is good. Okay, Dow trading higher. Okay, ES might drop down to that Ferrari gap. We shall see. All right, so I'm actually going to go ahead and buy this. And like I said, this will be my final trade of the day. I'm looking to take 1 to 2 trades every single day this week. All right, I want to see where this candle closes. So what's taking place here? Well, we actually just completely closed through these opposing arrays. And now we're trading them to the opposing end. So we're utilizing them inversely, right? And then, okay, ES probably should leave this Ferrari gap open, to be honest. So anyway, okay, enough blabbing around. Let's buy this. Okay, and this will be my final trade of the day. Simple. So stop goes below the consecutive down candles here, and then take profit is going right up to that juicy new week opening gap. All right, so the market's proven to me that I'm wrong. It's proven to me that it's excessively bullish and it doesn't want to get the Hoy down here, and it's showing and tipping its hand for obvious bullishness here. So I know that I'm on the right side this time. And then obviously first target could be above this high right here, right? You can take profits there, it's fine. But, I mean, really the main conviction for price actually continuing higher off of these arrays is actually new week opening gap up here. So it's a strong magnet that would be pulling price, right? So, yeah, new week opening gap it is. Beautiful. So ES is really ripping there. Like I said, DXY is consolidating, so it allows me to do whatever I want on the averages, and I don't have to worry about it. So if we break out above this high right here, right, stop's immediately going to go right to break even. Okay, but where it stands right now, it's staying where it is. All right, so 80, so about 50 handles, 47 handles with a 20 handle stop. So you can do the math on that. It's obviously going to suit our risk management plan with risk reward, right? All right, so we're trading down to this Ferrari gap here. I'd like to see it remain in institutional order flow and then obviously make its way to the upside. Okay. So as the P&L fluctuates, okay, forget about the P&L. The P&L is not important. Did you follow your plan? And did you reasonably trade this thing with realistic leverage? And did you follow your plan? That's all that matters. Okay, stop looking at the real-time P&L. Stop looking at it fluctuate. It's not important. Like if you have to, go to ticks. Okay, switch it from money to ticks. Don't pay any mind to the P&L because it's not important. Okay, the long term will take care of that. The money will flow to you by default, but it's not going to flow to you if you care about every single little transaction. Okay, and you're placing so much emphasis on it. And if you are, you might just be undercapitalized. So, or just just not enough experience, of course. But the last thing you should be doing is worrying about every little fluctuation between the P and L, because if that's the case, you obviously need to some psychological aspects need to be worked on. But anyway, like how we're respecting the down candle here, I want to see this thing absolutely slam above these highs here. Like I said, once we get a prominent run above this high here, I'm going to be expecting continuation of new week opening gap, and costs are going to be cut. And then look at these two down close candles here. So along with everything else, we obviously had to change the state delivery above these down candles. Price trades down into that. You expect that to be treated as support. So really, if we extend that out, I mean, this could be a 5-minute entry in and of itself right here, right? And then you can see my stops below these two down close candles respectively. So yeah, obviously took the entry in the 1 minute, but if I was looking to trade the 5-minute, that's what I'll look at. So I mean, obviously not as low resistant as we'd want it to be. It's a little bit of a just, I don't want to call it high resistant because it's not like real high resistant, but it's just like subtly high resistant, right? All right, so I like how ES is delivering off that redelivery of the gap. I want to see if it can continue that. Okay, NASDAQ taking a dive to this swing low here, which just kind of continuing the high resistance state of the marketplace, of course. Once again, we have a 1 to 2.5 risk to reward ratio. Okay, so this is absolutely valid. And then original entry. So for those that maybe weren't paying attention, right? We were looking to buy this Ferrari gap, got slipped a little bit up here, which is fine. Okay, we're still going to have a very respectable risk to reward. Okay, simple. So ES kind of getting caught up in between this inversion gap that we've been extending through and watching this entire session. Dow looks good to me. Okay. I don't want to see us stall too much here. Okay, this is just a simple high resistance marketplace, so I'm not, too concerned with it. Could institutional order flow this 5-minute gap, which I'm fine with, but really not preferred. Okay, I'd like to see this 5-minute gap stay open. All right, but if it does drop down there, that's fine. My stop is weathered for that. And yeah, like I said, it's just a subtly high resistant marketplace, and it's just primed to blow this top off here. So anyway, just a simple high resistant, like I said, just consolidating. Everything looks great. And we just simply allow everything to play out. And like I said, if, by the way, I like how Dow is actually trading lower now. So that's, or not Dow, Dow Index is trading lower. So that's actually a bonus. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying, if you're worried about, you're so worried about one singular transaction. What if my stop gets hit? What if this X amount of drawdown comes in? Like, you can't worry about that stuff. Okay, real time, it's just going to trip you up. You're going to take profits prematurely. You're going to do things that you shouldn't be doing. And you just really have to, you can't be controlled by the outcome. Okay, that's what I'm basically saying. You let everything be set in stone. You set the stop loss, take profit, and you let everything else do its thing. Okay. And notice the feedback that I'm initially getting off this trade. I mean, is there like zero drawdown on this trade whatsoever? I got close to it multiple times here now, but zero drawdown. It's giving me the feedback that I want to see, right? And that's immediate, movement in my direction. So yeah, all right. So it's dropping down below the 5-minute gap. Let's check out the 5-minute chart. Okay, I want to seriously, I want to see this be very, very short-lived. Okay, this is absolutely normal. It's fine, but this needs to lead to an immediate rejection away. Okay. And then ES absolutely needs to leave this open. So we're going to watch for that, see if that takes place. I like the rejection off of that right now. Okay, definitely a high resistant marketplace. Okay, I would have assumed that this would have been a lot more low resistance, to be honest, given how we're in tune with overall, higher time frame order flow. But this is what we're left with. Okay, so we just have to submit to it. All right, we're going to get our first liquid drawdown here. Let's see. Not quite. There we go, $10. So yeah, like I said, you can't worry about the real-time price fluctuation. You can't worry about one singular day, one singular transaction, 3 transactions. Okay, it's all about the long term. Keep that in mind. And you won't be a slave to your impulses. All right. And yeah, past this transaction, I still believe take profit is going to be hit, but I'm not taking, like, no matter the outcome, I'm not taking any more trades. The real focus going forward is taking 1 to 2 trades per day, which we typically do. Like, a lot of times we just get on stream, okay, take our trade, one setup, and we're paid. But, sometimes it requires another transaction here with, inevitable loss that comes into play potentially. So ES, I mean, wasn't preferred to drop down to that 5-minute gap, but it does so. Okay, which is definitely normal, which is why if I was trading ES, which I'm absolutely not, this would be, my stop would be obviously weathering that. Dow, let me take a look here. It is obviously consolidating here, so I'm not going to look at it much. Dow index is taking a deep dive, so it's really supporting my idea, like, a lot. All right, so redelivering this inversion gap. The only thing that would cause caution for this trade here, to be honest, is breaking through this inversion. So we'll see. And then, I mean, it just looks more obvious of this being a run. I mean, look at all, I mean, it's ridiculous, the highs that were generated here with this, right? I want to see us continuously respect this inversion. And yeah, we just wait. And notice how we're also utilizing this breaker inversely, so I still have that extended out because it's an important level. Notice how many times we utilized it. So this will be a sensitive price point. But anyway, we pierced this short-term low. I mean, these highs are really primed to be taken out. I just don't know exactly when. Just kind of generates that, leaves that intact, and then we have new week opening gap hovering above. So might not be now, but it's going to be some point. So notice how I'm not like closing the trade, right? Because even if it came down to stop, I'm still like, I was risking how much I was willing to lose, right? It's not going to it's not going to take away from how much I withdraw into my bank account at the end of the week, right? It's just one day that was like, okay, we entered initial drawdown, and now we go forward and take, the setups that show its hand later in the week, right? So with it dropping down below the swing low here, okay, the only thing that would really cause me to be like, okay, maybe I should consider just cutting bait here and leaving it be, obviously, as if we disregarded this inversion below the swing low here. So all we did here was come down, bump the swing low, right here, utilize this inversion, and we have all these highs up here generated, okay, and left behind. So obviously by default, I'm going to expect that to be taken out. All right, especially with this run on sell stops here, which was really the catalyst for the trade here in the first place. All right, so I like what ES is doing here. Still in a tough range, but obviously, as you can see with what I'm doing on the screen here, I want to see it break out of this range to the upside. So I mean, there's two things taking place here that gives me all the confidence that I really need. Is dollar index is following the script inversely perfectly, and I'm in tune with the higher time frame overall order flow, right? And we have a reasonable target above here, which is a magnet on price, and that's going to be your new week opening gap, right? So anyway, we create a swing point here. I want to see if we can expand above, and we'll just watch it from here, all right? So enough said. We already know what we're looking for. Everything's set in stone, and that's it. So I mean, really, how you should be really viewing it is, no matter the outcome of this trade, you would take this again and again and again and again, because everything that you needed showed its hand, right? And I explained that all live. All right, so if you look at the 50-minute chart quick, I'm gonna go up there. You can see what price is dropping down into. It's obviously working in the upper end of this wick right here. Okay, actually 25% to be exact. Consolidating. You did create a swing low out of this 5-minute fair value gap, which is good, and this should work as an intermittent term low and then complete the move above. Time-based liquidity resting above here. As for NASDAQ, I want to see if it can poke its head, which it might have already done so, not quite. I want to see if it can poke its head above this opening of this down candle. All right, and if and only if we get a change of state delivery above this down candle, then I would move my stop below this down candle, okay? But that's only if we get that. But once again, it's like, okay, we already significantly left and traded above 50% of this wick here on the hourly chart. We already significantly left this hourly gap open. We have the magnet on price resting above here with new week opening gap. Okay, same deal with ES. We left this gap open, no problem. Really expanded the upside. So I want to see a more prominent push up here. I believe we were able to poke above the opening here now. Not quite still. So not quite a change of state delivery. Like I said, we need one tick above this opening here to classify it as actual change of state delivery. All right. So, I mean, it's not hard to just, we picked up on this very early on. It's obviously a high resistant marketplace. It's been moving sideways for 10, 11, so about an hour and a half now we've been moving sideways. So, just struggling to break out of this range, but obviously the context given, we're looking for that new week opening gap. Alright, so I think we got above that 5-minute down candle, so they can be classified as a change of state delivery. Okay, I want to see a prominent move above it, not just one little wick up above it and then trade back down for me to trail my stop, right? So if we get a real large move above these highs here, prominently above that 5-minute down candle here, right, then I'll move my stop up. But anything other than that would just be, you know, trailing my stop too soon. So notice what's above us right now. Okay, we have like a little bit of a triple top manifested right here. So by default, you can suspect that that would be pierced above. And then following that, the previous session high, which is 11:35 a.m. now, so this is going to be the New York session high. So 11:10 a.m. right here was the closure of that New York session, and that high was placed in. So it's going to be previous session high. All right. And we just pierced above these two clean highs here. I want to see it poke above the third one now. Almost. Just hovering below it. Okay, nice. Okay, we'll see if this can continue potentially. ES unable to find footing, but ultimately still showing its hand to the upside. So kind of how I'm going to play this is should we get an expansion to the upside here. Somewhere in between this gray area here, right? I'm going to begin trailing my stop aggressively just below as I watch it, you know, obviously grind in the direction of this magnet on price up here. Okay, it's only right. So previous transaction was obviously minus $300 with us trying to get a potential model number 3 here, right? And we'll obviously see what this stacks up to be. And like, okay, even if we had a potential stop loss hit, right? So by the way, with that expansion, I'm gonna go ahead and cut cost in half. Let's say it did come down for the stop loss, right? It would have been another $300 loss, right? Even with my RR, right, that would have just completely overlapped that with, let's say, a third trade that was panned out. All right, so anyway, expansion above the highs here, which is good. Obviously, main focus is new week opening gap. And yeah, what I'm going to do here is I'm actually just going to move stop to break even now. All right, so I think it's only right to do that. So risk from the marketplace is entirely removed now. And now we just obviously watch it. See if we can get aggressive up to the new week opening gap. All right, so this would actually over double the prior transaction now. Okay, given the RR that we're currently at. All right, so that's pretty good. So obviously a nice expansion here. All right, we'll see if it has the wherewithal to. I mean, ES barely moved, so just another reason why I'm glad I didn't trade it. But obviously a nice expansion here. We'll see if this can take us home. All right, so it might rally down to that for value gap there. And there we go, nice expansion there, perfect. Beautiful. So yeah, beautifully delivered up in new week opening gap there. Perfect. So let's close it there at $900. Beautiful. So just deliver that right there. So it's $900. So I mean, just take a look at what we did here, right? I told you guys I wasn't copy trading, so I'm unfortunately not going to make that times 3, right? But original transaction was minus $300, and then the next trade was $900. So it actually triples, right? So the prior transaction times 3. So initial loss for $300, right? And then obviously right here from 20,180, 225. So it's about 46 handles of one contract on the NASDAQ. So let me know who caught that. That was a slow grind. All right, yeah, let's get some plus ones. There we go. Good job, guys. All right, Alex, Golden Child, Jargon's flicking, Thompson, Riziki, Golden Child, good work. Harky, nice. Lucky, beautiful. SimGold took it on ES, okay. Oh, well, your take profit would have just been hit anyway, so nice. Brian, yes, sir. I'll say Lewis, good work. You're taking your son to school, so you're late to the trade, but still got 1K, perfect. Nice.